All right, guys. This is Milo from Milo Upschool Fitness. So we're going to kind of talk about why some people don't hit their goals. And when we talk about it, it makes total sense. And here's what it is. So if I asked you, for instance, I don't know. Actually, this is a perfect example. I actually talked to this to one of our trainers. I was like, "Hey, what do you want to achieve? What's your ultimate goal? What do you want to do?" And he was like, "I don't know. I want people to kind of, I want people to kind of like know me as the go-to guy for like mobility and stretching, right? He wants to kind of be kind of like the guy." And I was like, "All right, it's interesting. And when are you looking to achieve that by?" He's like, "I don't know. That's just something that I want to do in my life." It's like, okay, it's very, very broad, very general. So what's another goal, right? So we got one goal, very broad, very general. So I was like, okay, let's go with something else. What do you want to do financially? He's like, "Oh, well, financially, I want to be able to live off of 25% of my paycheck." All right, now that's a little bit more specific. I like that. So 25% of your paycheck by what time? I don't know. I just want to eventually get there. Okay, where are you at now? And he's like, I don't know where I'm at now. Okay, interesting. So the thing is you got to look at your goals as like a dartboard, right? If you're very general, right? So think about the dartboard and then the whole wall. So if you are like, "Hey, I just want to eventually do something one day," I just want to be rich one day, right? Okay, well, that's very general. So if you throw the dart, you're basically trying to aim just for that wall in the vicinity. You're not actually have a bullseye yet. You got to be very specific to be able to get that bullseye, right? So, okay, well, you want to be rich. How much money does that mean to make you rich? Well, I don't know, maybe $1 million. All right, cool. So you want to make $1 million within this time, to be able to make you rich. So we went from the whole wall to like now we're narrowing it down a little bit better, a little bit more specific. So we got it's about 6 inches on each side of that dartboard. All right, when do you want to have $1 million? When do you want to reach that by? Oh man, $1 million, that's a lot, which we already know that's totally doable. But okay, $1 million, that's really a lot. I don't know, I want to get it within 10 years. We narrowed it from the whole wall to 6 inches on each side. 10 years, that means that now he's like hitting the dartboard with that dart, right? So, all right, so you want to get $1 million for 10 years. How much is that going to take every single year that you're going to have to earn, So, divide that out. So 10 years, 100 grand a year. So what do you got to do to be able to get that 100 grand? So you kind of see how I'm getting more and more and more specific here. And the more specific you are, the more likely you're going to hit it. Because like I mention all the time, is wherever your focus is how you're going to get it. So if you just do it really broad, like, "Oh, I want to be rich someday," you may already be rich, according to other people's standards. If you're like making, $20,000 a year when literally 90% of the world makes $2 a day, well, you already are rich, and that's what your brain's going to think. So you got to be specific so your brain can search for that. The other thing a lot of people do is they may know what they want. They're like, "Okay, I really want to lose, I want to lose 20 pounds by June, so that way when I go out to that beach, I'll look good, I won't feel embarrassed, and so that's what I want to do. I want to lose 20 pounds by June 1st this year." So really specific goal, and they still don't reach it. Why do they not reach it? Is mainly because they don't define where they're at now. So in order to reach that goal, you got to know where you're at now and what you need to do to get there, right? So I think of it as like a map. So if I had to go to, I don't know, say I had to go to New York and I had to drive there. And if I had this map, and I got to get to New York. Now, if you don't know where you're at, how do you know which direction to go? Do you go north? Do you go east? Do you go west? Do you go south? If you don't know where you're at, you can't get to your goal, right? Or let's say if you're very general, let's say like, okay, I know I'm in the state of Texas and I need to get to New York. Are you still going to be able to have a good guide or an exact roadmap to be able to get you to New York? Probably not. You know you need to go northeast, but you don't know exactly how to get there, which roads to take or which paths or anything. Freeways can make the time go faster. You may eventually get there, but maybe you veer off and hit Virginia or whatever. So you got to be able to have a clear path and direction to get there. So you got to be specific to where you're at now. So what do you do? So if you want to lose 20 pounds and you want to have it by June 1st, then you got to know, okay, how much do I weigh now? Okay, how much do I weigh now? How much do I got to lose every single week in order for me to get there? How much do I need to lose every month? Because sometimes you may have a week that dips a little bit and not really hit your goal, then you kill it the next week and you overdo it. So how much do I got to lose every month and to be able to reach my goal? Now it's like you're saying you're in the city of Austin, Texas at Milo Obstacle Fitness, 7303 Burleson Road, and you need to be able to get to New York. So now that it's specific, now you know which routes to take. It's just like GPS. So now you have a GPS map, you know where you need to go, and you're able to get there. So don't lie to yourself where you're at, because if you try to say, oh, I'm not in Austin, Texas, I'm in San Antonio, Texas, your route's going to be off, right? So a lot of people try to lie to themselves. They're like, oh, well, I'm 220 pounds when they're really like 250. So you got to be specific where you're at. This is even true for financials and actually basically anywhere, anything in life. So be specific where you're at. Don't lie to yourself. Know exactly where you're at. Know exactly where you need to be. Don't forget to, it's like a SMART goal, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, revisable, and timely. So you want to make sure that it's measurable. Like, so people go, I just want to lose weight. Well, how much weight do you want to lose? Do you want to lose 3 pounds, 6 pounds, 3 chickens? I don't know. What do you want to lose? And you got to make sure it's also attainable. So can I attain that goal within that amount of time? You know, you don't want to overshoot it and be like, okay, I'm going to be losing 300 pounds within 1 week. And you're like, well, that's impossible. It's not going to happen unless you know, it's just not realistic. And then timely, which are revisable and timely. So revisable is like, okay, so if I do miss my goal this week and I have to lose 5 pounds per week and I miss my goal, can I make it up in the next week? And then can I chunk that? So if I don't hit my 5 pounds this week, say I lose only 3 pounds, I got 2 more pounds to lose. So next week, can I lose 6 pounds, and then the week after that, lose 6 pounds, and then I'll be back on track to losing 5 pounds? Is that doable? Well, yes, it is. Is it doable within this time? Yes, it is. So you got to set realistic goals, and you want to be able to make sure that you know exactly where you're at and exactly where you're going. Because if it's general, your brain's going to be like, well, you are losing weight. If you're like, oh, I just want to lose weight, well, you lost like a pound last week, so you know you are losing weight technically, so you kind of already hit your goal. So what is it? So it's like, no, actually I want to lose 30 pounds. So that's about looking for a goal, knowing what to focus on, knowing where you're at, and then knowing where you need to go. All right. I hope that helps in your journey. Thanks.